Brooklyn Independent Television.
Creating new parks takes money, and if you want to get funding, you got to get counted. And it's that time of the decade again, and Brooklyn organizations are working together to demystify the census to make sure Brooklyn sends it in to get our fair share of federal funding. Tati Amara has the story.
Census 2010 is here, and the campaign to get people to fill out their forms is in full swing.
I was just passing by and see this lady with a card talking about census. So I pulled over and I asked her what's going on.
That's exactly what outreach efforts like this one at Medgar Evers College are trying to do. Get people to stop and listen.
I learned about the census and I'm interested in filling out the form to let the United States know that I exist.
The eagerness around this year's census seems far more than 10 years ago, and for good reason.
Brooklyn last time around was one of the most underrepresented, undercounted areas in the country. Fill them out, send them in so that we get the funds that we vitally need to keep our hospitals open, our schools open, sanitation services, MTA. Everything is really dependent upon our count.
You can determine how much money will come back for resources. And as I said, not for one, not for two, not for three, but every year up until 2020.
But there's always been a certain skepticism about the census.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to do exactly what they say it's for. I think it's just a way for the government to probably just kind of know more about who is living in the house, to probably, I don't know, probably do their own checks into stuff, but I don't think it's to benefit the people in the community.
I will be disappointed if I fill the application out, and nothing happens, either from myself, my kids, or neighbors, families, and so forth.
I also saw how different efforts are making an impact.
Like the other day I seen something on the train that said, how are we going to know how many trains we need if we don't know how many people are riding or whatever? And it made a lot of sense to me.
Though some are not completely convinced, Brooklynites are all in for the most part.
I think there's just been a resurgence in civic engagement and civic involvement with last year's elections, that people are more aware and they want to do their part to make their neighborhoods better.
Personally, I trust it. I mean, there are laws in place to prevent, for example, immigration from coming to your house or the police from coming to your house from anything you report in your census document. And if you don't trust that, to be honest, you have to consider what we stand to gain from filling out the form and what we stand to lose as well.
I think it's a wonderful thing to register, make sure we're all counted, to get proper representation, especially in these recessional times.
I'd say go ahead and take the 4 or 5 minutes and fill it out. I mean, it can't be that tough. Put it back in the mail. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing. I think people are making too big of a deal out of it, really.
In Crown Heights, for Brooklyn Review, I'm Tati Amara.
Brooklyn Independent Television on the BCAT TV network.